Hello and welcome to Brewskis and Housekeys. I am Nicole Kostelecki.
And I am Nick Papantanakis.
And we are here at Remax Alliance in Old Town, Nevada, drinking some beers and podcasting.
And
talking about the market.
The thing that we love to do. This is something we always love to do. And thankfully, it feels good that we're almost getting back to a little bit more of a routine with it.
Yes.
I think. I know our fan has missed us, so...
Yes, our
Sorry.
Yeah. My uncle, your friend.
Please share that story.
Oh, what?
About your uncle and the fact that he...
We already did. They even commented on our last one.
Yes.
They love this shout out.
It's always,
Yes,
always good.
It's
always
true.
good to love our fans. We love you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I think now that summer's coming to an end, has come to an end for most people, kiddos for sure. I think it's safe to say we'll get back into a good routine.
Yeah, by the time this gets out to your ears, it's probably the second week of September-ish, and it's crazy. It moved quick.
You can feel fall in the air.
I am so grateful.
Are you?
It's too hot. It's been too hot.
I love summer.
I know that aspect of it, because golf, traveling, those pieces I actually do enjoy that about summer, but routine and cooler weather I will take.
Routine is nice.
And you were just, right before we started recording, you were talking about being an unofficial PTA member.
I just, yeah. No, PTA.
Oh, did you? Oh, that'd be a whole different conversation.
I wish.
Oh, man, wait a minute.
I wish it was PTA. No, just helping out, obviously. Lots of volunteering. Just in Wheat Ridge, and we have a golf tournament coming up for Local Works.
Oh, that's right.
So
when is that?
That'll be fun. September 21st. So I'm sponsoring a hole with a lender, and that'll be fun.
Awesome.
My Oktoberfest is coming up.
You're a busy lady.
And putting together a coupon book for St. Peter and Paul.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Giver. Nicole is a giver.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So it's fun stuff.
This golf tournament, you're sponsoring a hole. Are you guys doing anything fun for the golfers?
There's a little chipping. We got a little chipping net.
Nice.
So if people just want to chip, they can.
Do a little.
Yeah, give
have
away.
Fun while they're waiting to tee off or whatever.
Yeah.
You giving anything special away? A new Tesla?
Some golf tees, I think.
I like that.
Is the plan. Definitely not a Tesla.
Starts with a T. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I don't. Never.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I know we had a good time with that at the Remax Alliance Golf Tournament. My favorite one was I don't remember what, it was a title company, I think. They had just a bunch of squirt guns. And they gave us all squirt guns with ice cold water in them. It was so nice.
See, that's cool. And I did take that idea.
Oh.
Well, no. I took the idea, but I don't think I'm going to use it. I kept it in the back of my head because it's not going to be quite as hot out.
That's true.
In end of September.
That's a way better time to do a golf tournament.
No, it should be fun.
Note to self. Remax Alliance.
Hopefully the weather is good.
Push it back a little bit.
Yeah. How about you? What have you been up to? Jane's back in school?
Jane's back in school, which means she and Janie are back in their routine, which means I have a little more freedom of my own time, which is nice. But also, it's a little tough because then they're both so busy that it's hard to tack down family time too. So it's like this double-edged sword. But we're making it work. Like today is a Wednesday, and Jane starts after-school tennis today. Nice. So right after school, I won't see her for a little bit still.
There's the U.S. Open. I never watch tennis, but I, for some reason, have been watching it.
It's fun. I enjoy. I don't know what it is about professional tennis. It is really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
I even got Jane to watch.
I still don't get the scoring. One day.
I think that's secondary. Just watching them do cool stuff that I'm like, I could never do that. That's fun to watch, I think. But I even got the kiddo to watch it because she's starting to get into it more. So it's a good time of year to, I don't know, be into that. She seems to be sticking with it. I know I've said that before. Like, she's bounced from sport to sport. I'm just impressed that she likes it and is sticking with this. So knock on whatever.
I knocked on that one early.
I'd love for her to stay the course.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, I don't know. It's been kind of an unusual time of year, and we'll get into it, I guess, numbers-wise, because it is market update day. But business tends to kind of taper off as school gets back into session, I think, traditionally in real estate life. And then, slowly but surely you'll get a little bit of a bump before the holidays.
I think the bump will be coming. I feel like it slowed down a little bit, you know, in July, August, and
yeah. And now we're kind of hitting that point where hopefully there's a little bit of a boost on the ramp, but we'll talk about the numbers and stuff. So we've been feeling that a little bit here and there. So, so yeah. So speaking of hot days, what tastes good on a hot day?
So we are drinking Tivoli Brewing Company. So they are out of Denver, really close to the Ball Arena and Metro campus. I am drinking the juicy IPA, the Mountain Squeeze.
I will admit that I grabbed that because of the name.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be a pretty good beer.
It is really good. It's refreshing. It's 6% alcohol. It's only 30 IBUs, which is pretty low for an IPA, but it's very refreshing, easily drinkable.
Dangerous?
Probably dangerous.
I think so.
Have you gone to the Tivoli?
Am I going to lose my Colorado native card if I say no?
I have.
I've never
and
it's cool in there.
It is cool.
Oh, man.
I haven't actually gone into the... Well, my sister and her husband, they had their wedding reception there.
Oh,
so
sweet.
They have a big old like ballroom that you can do it in. And it's pretty neat, actually.
There's a lot of rooms and pathways.
Yeah.
It's really, very industrial.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I mean, I was reading the history because the name it's very much a beacon. If you've been in Colorado long enough, you see that smokestack with Tivoli written on it. It's just kind of a thing. And so it's definitely noticeable as a staple in Colorado and Denver specifically. But I was reading about their history, 150 years, over 150 years.
I did not know that.
They've been in
a surprise. So
production.
1859.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
No. I mean,
that's before Coors.
Is it before Coors?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Denver was established long before Golden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
it's fact check that.
It's.
I will.
Okay.
We'll put that in the stats.
I think
the dates. We'll make sure that's in front of the stats. But
Tivoli versus
1859 is when they started, and they navigated Prohibition.
Yeah.
They're still producing amazing beer. It's crazy. I've never been there. I'm assuming they catered the thing too, food wise.
Yeah.
No, you could bring
1873.
1873 for Coors.
Thank you, fact checker Phil. You're going to be a staple of every episode now. That's correct. You're welcome.
You better slow that down.
Fact checker Phil. Fact. Enunciate. Sorry, it's the Tivoli talking.
Oh,
but I mean, still really cool to have that kind of history. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna just steamroll right through it. I am drinking the Helles Lager from there, which is the kind of beer I want at this time of year. I said that, like before we started recording too, because it is a lighter beer. It's 5.1%, but it's got the German malty kind of thing going on, which it is Oktoberfest season, as you mentioned.
And we're gonna have a podcast episode coming soon.
Devoted to
Oktoberfest beers.
The greatest style of beer.
So that'll be fun.
So that will be fun.
Taste tester.
Yeah, this is kind of my warm up for that.
Yeah.
We're not doing
Good.
We're doing it today. We're doing it today.
Well, I think they do in general have more like German style beers. So yeah, definitely give them a try. I didn't even know they made IPAs, but yes, this is delicious.
And I was trying to get a variation a little bit.
That.
So yeah, because they had their Pilsner there. They had this. They had another German style beer. I don't remember which one. Oh, the Hef, yeah. And then they had this. So I was like, well, we'll mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I like it.
A little bit of everything. So yeah, that's what we're sipping on. And as we said earlier, it's time to do our market update for the month of July. So
September. Well, August, really.
August. What
August
month are we in?
numbers are in. It is the September market
Thank
update.
you.
Nice try.
Sometimes calendars are hard. It's tough sometimes. So anyway, your numbers.
You don't want to let go of summer.
No. I don't. You heard me earlier. Just love it so much. Okay, so let's dive into some nitty gritty here for overall residential home prices. So the median home price for all residential, that's attached and detached together, was $582,000. We're going to see a lot of 100% flat numbers, but pretty close to flat numbers, I think, from July to August.
They were pretty stable.
Yeah, so that's about a 1.36% decrease from the month of July. Breaking that down for detached homes, the median price for a single-family home was still at $650,000, which is the number we gave last month as well. And for attached, so the condos, townhomes, all that good stuff, your median home price there was $419,950, which is borderline the exact same number from the previous month.
It was $420 last month.
There you go. So pretty stable overall.
Yep. So getting down into some other numbers. So the average days in MLS for August was 26 days. That's compared to the 23 days they were in July. So it went up a little bit. Breaking it down, 26 days on average for detached homes and 25 on average for attached homes.
Kind of that slightly slower down time like you were talking about. I mean, it's all relative, but it is a little bit slower.
Well, but I mean, that's a pretty, on average, at 3 days, it's pretty big, I feel.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Definitely compared to the single digits we were seeing spring of 2022. So this is nice. Buyers
People don't
can
have to
take
hold
a
on
little
for
bit
dear
more
life.
time.
Yeah.
So there were 6,858 active listings at month's end, which is up 8.87% from July's month's end of 6,299. Overall, we are down from August of 2022 month's end active listings. So the amount of closed homes in July, was 3,792, and that's up 0.76%. Okay, and then down 13.91% from August of 2022.
So still a little different flow of traffic from last year. That's for sure. Yeah.
So there were 4,863 new listings in the month of August, which is a 1.74% increase from July. And then the average close to list price was 99.46% for residential homes. So staying below that 100%. So the closed price is lower than the list price.
Which we'll dive into a little bit when you talk about what this means for sellers, because there's movement specific to being on the listing side to get your house sold.
Right.
And it's not just a price reduction necessarily.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. And then important number, so interest rates as of today. So today is September. What day is today? September 6th?
September 6th.
Yeah. As of today, they were at 7.33% for a 30-year conventional loan, and that's from our regular source, which is Mortgage News Daily.
I think I circled that one on here. I think that's an important number to note, and we're going to talk about kind of what the overall market update means for buyers right now. But I think that all of the people that are much smarter than me and that know the side of lending have predicted that the tail end of this year, mortgage rates specifically are going to start to decline a little bit. I would love for them to be right, because it is a major complaint of a lot of buyers in the marketplace. Our crystal balls work very few times out of the year, but I mean, it's one of those things that I think people are hanging on to the fact that it's over 7%. So therefore it might keep them on the fence. And so kind of jumping from that to what should you do if you're a buyer in this current market? I do truly believe that having the ducks in a row, as far as knowing your financing, how you're approaching this, is number one.
Right.
And that means trusting, if you're doing a loan, trusting your lender that they're going to not just pigeonhole you into this one little box. If you want to buy a home, you need a 30-year fixed conventional loan at this rate.
Right.
Deal with that. A good lender is going to try and be resourceful for you. So that's my number one thing is know what kind of money you're playing with and understand that it's not a one size fits all. That's going to be one of the biggest things. I do think that it does take away the sting if you fall in love with a property and you're like, oh, but it's 7.3% right now. Understand that the rate is not forever and that you can work with your lender to find the right program for you so that you don't end up just missing out on that home that was your forever home, maybe.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two is a lot of people like to wait until springtime because it's a good time to get out there. My strong advice is to not do that because right now...
For buyers.
Yes, for buyers, yeah. I think right now is a time that if you're serious, avoid the crowd.
Yeah.
Get out there and find the home that you're looking for, or at least start looking. Because if you're getting the reps in and you're out there seeing properties with your agent, then you are hopefully honing in on what that perfect property looks like for you, and you're more likely to find it sooner than, we'll look at one here, maybe we'll wait a month or two, we'll look at one there, maybe we'll take a couple months off. Oh, March is a good time. There's a lot more listed. There's a lot more people looking. So it makes it a much more dog-eat-dog kind of place. And lastly, this is kind of a weird thought process, but being that my wife and I recently have stepped our foot into the market of being buyers, our thought process is a little skewed. We started looking at things in our search that are just slightly above the comfortable price point for us.
Okay.
And I won't go too far into it because I know that you had that as one of the things you want to talk about, but there's a good chance if your agent is working on your behalf, you'll be able to navigate price and other pieces of the transaction to make it more affordable for you in the long run and in the immediate. So it's okay if your threshold as a buyer is I can only afford $600,000 for a home. My advice would be to trust yourself to look at $650,000 and under. Not because you want to pay $650,000 for that home, but because you will see more. It'll broaden that search, and you'll see what the market deems is worth that. And there might be ones that are overpriced out there. There might be things you can do to negotiate. So
right, exactly. There's more negotiations taking place. So you're right. You can look a little bit above now. You don't have to look 50,000 below.
Because you're going to have to overshoot. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. All right. So on the seller side, you do normally see some people waiting for summer as sellers to list until fall hits. So it will be interesting to see, if the number of buyers if that picks up as well. So that'll be interesting to kind of take a look at. And then what Nick kind of alluded to. So what I wanted to say is we go over all these numbers and the average price, the median price of the homes. But I think it's important to note that that's not necessarily all that goes into when you're closing on a home. There's a lot of seller concessions that are being paid to the buyer. I would say more so. There's more seller concessions that I've seen looking at closed homes than I haven't seen.
I think you're right.
Yeah. And this will range. I mean, I saw some at $250,000. I saw one at $25,000. But, usually between $2,500, $10,000, I'm seeing quite a bit out there. And those can be paid towards, closing cost, buying points down, that kind of thing for the interest rate. So just keep that in mind as a seller. And plus, you're also probably doing a little bit more when it comes to the inspection resolution. So I'd make sure that your agent is giving you that estimated seller net sheet and you're putting those in as a buffer zone to have. Your net is not necessarily going to be totally related to what that offer price is.
So kind of the translation there is you need a smart, savvy, and thoughtful agent who's going to set those expectations for you. So call Nicole because she's got it mapped out already.
Or Nick.
And that way, at least you're having that discussion up front.
Yeah.
You're not having a surprise pop up on your
Right.
seller 2 weeks into the process.
Exactly. Because the prices right now are pretty comparable as far as the close price from 2022 to now, as far as the median price goes. But when you take into account all those seller concessions, things that sellers are paying for the inspection resolution, just know that those are there. Right?
And it does. You'll see that where if there's a property that's listed at $650 and it's been sitting and sitting and sitting, and then all of a sudden you see that it's under contract and closes for $660 $60 maybe, but it was sitting for a month and a half.
Mhm.
But then if your agent does the research on it, it's posted there for agents to all see if there was any kind of concessions paid
Right.
at closing. And you can look down and see, yeah, they paid $660, but they gave $18,000 in concessions at close. So the seller, in essence, netted less, but they were able to negotiate, hey, offer me this much more. It's, kind of a give and take there. So you'll see that a lot more. And it's just been kind of crazy that it's shifted that much to that direction. And I think you're right. I think you have to be mindful of that going into it if you're listing your home.
Right. Just know when you're looking at and comparing offers, know that maybe the highest offer price might not be the best contract to take.
Look at all the
Everything.
aspects. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That sound means we're done. That actually means that Nico's on to his second beer, and Nicole and I need to catch up. But
You guys talk too much.
that was, it was a lot of important stuff, I
Lots
feel
of
like.
info.
I'm just out here drinking.
Somebody has to do it. It's not fact checker Phil today, so fact checker. As always, we appreciate y'all tuning in. That was our market update for the month of August. I got it right this time.
Good job.
Thank you. It takes a couple times. But,
Yep.
thank you to Tivoli for your, 1.5 centuries of service to the city of Denver. We appreciate you and the delicious beer. Definitely worth it. I got to go check it out. I felt guilty when you asked me that question. I did. Legitimately guilty.
Shame on you, Nate.
Okay. All right. Back in a little bit. Give me some slack here. But I promise I will.
Oh,
I
what
don't
was
know.
their slogan? Tivoli.
I love it.
I love it. Is that what it's there for?
Really?
Really?
Love it.
Oh, I love it.
I love it too.
Fact checker Phil strikes again. And I love that. It makes me really happy. Yes.
That was good.
That's only half a year. So. As always, we appreciate y'all for listening. If you've been listening for a long time, thank you. You know who you are. If this is your first time, welcome. And please don't hesitate to click the little subscribe and like and all those things. We're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube or probably a lot of other places that you get podcasts. So thank you for tuning in and subscribe so you can get it every single time we come out. Stay tuned for the next one. We'll be talking a lot about delicious German beer.
Oh, yeah.
But in the meantime,
Cheers.
cheers.